Hi, my name is Delia McCabe, and I'm here today to have a chat to you about stress, which I cover in one of the two books that I have published through Exile Publishing. We're living in a world where we are surrounded by stress. The news, social media, and people talking about the coronavirus have impacted us all significantly. And the brain doesn't like uncertainty. It's always looking for a pattern, and it wants to feel settled and calm. I discuss stress in my first book in quite a lot of detail because the brain evolved to not experience stress for anything longer than 30 to 60 seconds. We evolved to either run away very quickly from a threat or we became its next meal. That experience usually didn't last long and the brain returned to normal if we survived. The stress response is an ancient and very elegant, beautiful, and well-orchestrated response for any real physical danger. The problem that we're facing today is that there isn't anything to run away from. We have to cope with the stress that we're surrounded by in a different way. Unfortunately, when we become very stressed, it affects our blood glucose, and our blood glucose goes up and down because of the response that our brain sends to our muscles when it senses that stress is around and we should be running away from it. But the problem is we can't run away. So our blood glucose goes up and down, and we're often driven to eat the kinds of food that do not support our health, either physically or mentally. So it's very important to try and keep our blood glucose stable, firstly by avoiding watching bad news compulsively, and secondly, by eating the kinds of food that support our brain. Something that very few people realize is that adrenaline needs a lot of nutrients to be produced. And if we're feeling very stressed, our body is using up those nutrients to produce adrenaline, and then it doesn't have enough nutrients to produce neurotransmitters like serotonin and then melatonin, which help us sleep. So this means the more anxious we become, the more adrenaline we produce, the less our brain is capable of producing serotonin and melatonin to help us sleep. So my first book examines stress in a lot of detail in relation to the brain. And my second book takes the science into the kitchen so that the food that you produce when you use my recipes is the food that supports your brain to cope under any circumstance, but specifically now when we're faced with so much stress and we actually need more nutrients to be able to cope. So I hope you find my books interesting. I hope you find them fascinating, but mostly I hope they serve you to find your way through this disaster that we're all having to live through. And at the end of it, find yourself healthier and better able to manage stress. Thank you.